Okay, welcome to Capstone Thursday, and today we are going to work on slide 4. And slide 4 is the first slide where you share your research. Okay, the first two we've been kind of getting our audience interested. We've been telling them why we chose the topic. Today we start to share what we learned. So you see this sentence start. In order to understand this topic, you first need to understand. So I'm just going to start my slide with that. In order to understand this topic, first you need, and you might mess with this, you might add your own wording, but this gets me started. And so yesterday, remember how you added questions of the parts of your topic you are like an expert on? So, Lucas, how long is the world's shortest flight? Why and how are humans making species endangered from Australia? These are your questions, right? So you're going to talk about two of them in your speech. So what you do is you look at the question you want to do. So for me, it's what question should I talk about first? What's my most important thing? Oof. You know what? I think I'm going to do this. What was different between the North and the South? Okay. So I go here and I'm going to say, in order to understand this topic, first you need to understand what was different between the North and South during the time of slavery. That's my topic sentence. Okay? So I'm going to repeat. To write your topic sentence, you choose one of the questions you wrote yesterday. And I would choose the question you find most important to your topic. And you turn that into your topic sentence. Now you're going to add supporting details. And this is going to take you 20, 30 minutes because you have to add a lot. But before I do my example, I'm going to show you student examples from last year. So let's look at this one. This was from Felicia last year. She did child labor. So her topic sentence is, in order to understand my topic of child labor, you need to understand why many kids are forced to work instead of going to school. Clear topic sentence. Now she supports it. One reason kids are forced to work is their family doesn't have enough money for school and supplies and entry fees. So she kind of says why they can't work. But look, here she also gives facts. 73 million kids are working instead of going to school. So she sets it up. She says why, but she also adds a fact. Okay? Another reason is that one parent may have died or left the family. It's hard for one parent to make enough money, so the kids work to help the family. There are 152 million children working in the world. 85% of those kids are from the world's poorest country, which shows that they don't have enough money to meet their needs. So she started saying that to get this topic, you had to know why kids are forced to work. And then she clearly answered that question with two different points, and it had facts. Okay? That's what you're doing. You're setting up the question people need to understand, and then you're answering it with facts and explanation. Here was Madden. If you want to understand this topic, you should know the difference between adaptation versus mutation. So that says topic sentence. You need to know the difference between an adaptation and a mutation. A mutation can be a defect from birth or an unusual feature that not the whole species has. Oh, for example, if your heart is born outside your rib cage instead of inside, that is a mutation. So it's like a random thing that happens to one member, right? An adaptation is a change of the body that the whole species benefits from. So for example, plants in the desert have adapted to store water in their thick stems. So a mutation is just some random thing that happens out of nowhere, and an adaptation is something that helps the species survive over time. So notice, Madden set up his topic sentence that we need to understand the difference between adaptation versus mutation. So he told us the most important thing we have to understand. And then he taught us. He used examples, he explained, he was clear. So that's what you're doing. What's the most important thing we have to understand? And then teach us about that thing. Finally, Lily. In order to understand my topic of chemical reactions, you need to understand that everything in our world is matter, but has different properties. One of those properties is viscosity. An example of viscosity is in the morning, let's say you are making pancakes and drinking milk. Pouring the syrup on pancakes is an example of high viscosity. The syrup has a high viscosity and it pours slowly. On the other hand, pouring milk into a cup is very easy to pour. Milk has a very low viscosity. So again, Lily set up her topic sentence that to understand her topic, you need to understand that matter has different properties. And here she taught us about one of them, and she teaches us. She uses examples, explanations. That's what you're doing. What's the most important thing people need to understand? And then teach us about it. Okay? Give us facts, give us examples, give us explanations. Then I would go back to my topic now and I would give facts and explanations to explain the difference between the North and South during the time of slavery. I would give several facts, several examples, several explanations. That's what you're doing. I'm going to stop here because I don't want the video to be too long, but I hope it's clear. Use one of your questions and tell the reader what's the most important thing they need to know to understand your topic. Then you teach it to them. You teach with examples, with facts, with explanations. Okay? So you're going to have to look back at your research. You're going to have to think. It's going to take time. All right. I can't wait to see what you write.